Okay, so let's have a look at Alex Noren's technique here. So we've got a free wood and hybrid shot, and this was recorded at Walton Heath Golf Club during the US Open qualifying in 2013. So that particular season was a pretty decent season for Alex. He earned over €600,000 that season, which was a little under half of what, or just over half of what he earned in the previous season, where he was over €1,000,000 in earnings. Still a decent season. So let's have a look at his technique. So, first question, is it functional? Absolutely. Is it repeatable? Yes, it is. He's a European Tour player, so he certainly gets the club on the same path and the club face at the same position, and he repeats it time after time during tournament play. So let's have a look at his down the line view here with the free wood. So all pretty good here, as we expect a tour player to be. Good clean lines, good club face position here, and then up to the top, the left arm's working more up the body instead of across the body, so his hands are higher, more over his right shoulder. Club face position here, maybe we're looking at that being fairly decent and neutral at that point. There's Alex at the top. So as he works down, we can definitely see the hand path there. His hands are working more down. The shaft is more behind as the club head drops behind the hands. We can see club face here. Decent position. Club face post impact, full release. Decent position. Shaft there sort of bisecting the torso as it comes through and through into a finish. Pelvic movement, pretty decent squat as we can see the head down, but just a slight early extension as his lower body starts to come away from his pelvis, starts to move towards the ball a little bit, so that will start to just drop the club in a little bit behind him, maybe even open the club face a little bit, and will require his forearms to rotate quite heavily through the golf ball, and will certainly push his club's path out to the right and make him work his forearms a little bit faster to try and get that ball back to target. Let's have a look at his face-on position here with the hybrid. All good here. Good shift off the golf ball. There's a definite shift of his pelvis to the right as he moves back, as his pressure loads down into his right foot. So a good position here, a good lateral move off the golf ball. Nice wide arc, big shoulder turn, not as big as some, but a nice wide arc, hands nice and high over his head, over his right shoulder, but as we see it, higher than his head from this view. And as we can see from this position here, maybe something that spoils his accuracy a little bit is how much lateral slide he's got on the downswing. So there's definitely a big slide, a big shift of his head forwards, a slide of his pelvis towards the target, which is going to switch off the rotary action of his body, so he's certainly not going to get as much turn towards the target with his belt buckle. And then his movement of his upper body there, his shoulder pulling up and back behind his left ear, he's going to struggle with that. So he's got his left leg a little bent at impact. His weight and pressure is certainly, as we can see here, his weight and pressure is certainly on his toes, on the toes of his left foot, as that foot jumps a little bit there and then straightens, but he's not got his pressure towards his left heel, allowing his pelvis to open. A good wide hand position here and a good wide arc to the club itself on the follow through, as we see all professionals and good players do. The arc of the club is not narrowing through the golf ball a lot. Very good. So looking at his stats, You know, his driving accuracy was 51% of fairways hit, so ranking him 182nd on the European Tour for accuracy. So is this lateral slide a big issue for Alex, maybe causing an angle of attack issue, which is going to push his path a little bit too far away from his body, needing his arms, forearms and wrists to rescue the path and club face a little bit. So maybe questionable whether, you know, this movement here is not really, is certainly hindering his performance. But driving distance, 286 yards, ranked 108th, so he's pretty decent there. But all in all, a very dynamic swing, very functional and very repeatable. Alexander Noren, European Tour.